What is it?
Dominic Barone called. He wants to come in for a meeting. Now, I know he called me.
Excellent. Pick a time.
But you're not mad that he called me instead of you?
Why would I be mad?
Am I in the right office?
Mike, you're thinking of the old Lewis. The new Lewis is not petty, and he definitely does not get upset about things like who called who.
And may I ask where the new Lewis came from?
From inside. I took a look at the man in the mirror, and I decided it was time to make a change.
Well, I'm glad you did. And I don't know what Dominic wants, but whatever it is, I'm looking forward to working with you on it.
Did you just hear that?
Yes.
Then you know once Mike and Dominic agree to a time, you need to reschedule it.
Louis.
Dominic needs to learn that I am the man in charge.
But you're not the man in charge because Harvey gave you and Mike McKernan Motors to share.
But Dominic doesn't know that. And Mike and I gave him a card at the same time. And Mike says associate, and mine says Pearson Specter Litt. And I crossed out the Pearson Specter like I always do.
Louis, did you not hear what Jessica said about stopping all the pettiness?
Yeah, that was about Jack Soloff.
No, it was about pettiness.
Donna, I'm sorry, but I only have a certain amount of non-pettiness in me. And the real Louis Litt needs to come out somewhere.
Okay, Louis, you want Dominic to think you're the man?
Mm-hmm.
Then you need to stop worrying about who he called and start worrying about what he needs. Which is for you to be a great lawyer.
What's going on? You guys starting the meeting without me?
No, Dominic just got here early, but the headline is he wants us to close a handshake deal to buy Range Tech within the next 2 weeks, and I was about to tell him that we could.
Well, I'm sorry, but we can't.
What do you mean you can't?
I mean, there is no way that we can close a deal like this in 2 weeks without skipping due diligence.
No, Louis, he's known the CEO for 30 years, so we don't have to skip it, but we can do a streamlined version.
Okay, well, then we might as well not do it at all.
We don't get it done in that time. I can lose this deal. They put a clock on it.
And why would they do that? I'll tell you why. Because they know you won't pay attention to whatever it is that they're trying to slide by you.
Slide something by me? This is my friend. We have a handshake deal.
A handshake deal doesn't mean
Louis.
It's okay, Mike. Obviously, Louis doesn't get me. Because to me, a handshake deal means everything. So you do whatever due diligence you can in the next week, because if you mess up my deal, I'll be looking for a new law firm.
Man, I should have known.
You know what?
That you were full of shit when you said Dominic calling me to set up that meeting didn't bother you.
I don't care who he called. I did what I did in there because the client comes first.
Bullshit, you antagonized me and then Dominic.
Oh, what meeting were you in? I wasn't antagonizing him, I was protecting him.
Oh, really? By shitting all over his idea and then pissing him off?
I don't care if we pissed him off. He doesn't need a friend. What he needs is for us to be great lawyers.
Louis, you have a history of getting bent out of shape over hierarchy, so don't tell me that has nothing to do with this.
Okay, fine, Mike. You know what? You're right. I did get bent out of shape. Did. But then I got over it because, as I said, the client comes first.
You really expect me to believe that?
Mike, a few years ago, Dominic spent 90% of his time under the hood. He is rushing into this because he feels it's his only chance, and you know it. You think Harvey would sign off on this without due diligence?
And let me guess, you expect me to do all the work?
No. You take half, I take half. We do the work together.
Louis, I need to talk to you.
Yeah, I was just on my way to see you.
About the pending EPA investigation? Shit. I thought you'd be gloating. You're the one who wanted this.
I didn't want this. I feared this. If Dominic buys Range Tech, he's in huge trouble. And if we tell him that without having a solution, he'll fire us.
That's the thing. I have a solution. I found a company that has a battery division that we can buy. Now we just have to approach them and...
Did you not just hear what I said? We cannot jeopardize his deal.
We won't be jeopardizing it if we can get them to sign a non-disclosure agreement.
And the only way we'll be able to get them to do that is if they're our client.
Well, then it's a good thing they are.
You found one of our own clients. You're a genius.
Yeah, there's only one problem. They're Jack Soloff's client.
Forget it. We need to find another company.
There is no other company.
Mike, there is no way that Soloff will work with us on this. He hates me.
Then we have to find a way to make him unhate you, because I'm telling you, this deal is good for Jack and it is good for us. There has to be a way.
Well, then you talk to him.
Are you saying you want me to negotiate with Soloff on my own?
I'm saying we're a team, and there's a better chance of Soloff saying yes to you than me.
It's not gonna work.
He said no.
He said he wants 100% of the deal.
Piece of shit.
I know. So, I don't know. We're gonna have to think of something else.
Give it to him.
What?
I said give it to him.
Louis, hey, I know we're under the gun with this Dominic thing, but I really don't think it's a good idea to let him push you around like that.
I'm not letting him push me around. I'm listening to my leader.
What are you talking about?
Remember when you asked me where the new Lewis was coming from, and I told you from me? It wasn't from me. It was from Jessica. She asked me to stop the pettiness once and for all, and if I can't do that now, I'll never be able to do it.
Okay, then I guess all we have to do is figure out a way to sell the idea to Tanaka.
No, trust me. If I can do this, I definitely can do that.
Louis, what the hell have you done?
What? You're setting up for our meeting with Tanaka.
Are you kidding me? This isn't gung-ho, Louis. They're gonna take one look at you. They're gonna run out the door.
No, they're not. Mike, Tanaka's a Japanese company steeped in tradition.
I don't care what you think they are. This is offensive.
There's absolutely nothing offensive about showing respect for another culture.
And what do you know about their culture?
Mike, trust me. When I was in junior high, we had an exchange student stay with us. Suki.
Here we go.
And she was far from home and proud of her culture, and she set up everything in this room to make herself feel comfortable, right down to giving my father this very kimono and laying out a map of her hometown.
Louis, I want you to listen to me. They're gonna be here in 45 minutes, and if you are still dressed like that and this room still looks like this, Dominic is going to fire us.
We're not going to be here in 45 minutes because they're here right now. Mr. Tanaka-san.
Who did this?
I did.
That is a map of Shikoku. My family is from there.
I know.
How?
Because we do our homework, sir. Just like we did our homework on this deal.
I think we are going to get along very nicely.
Please. What are you doing? Get the tea.
You want to get the tea, okay?
Range Tech called me after they heard that I was negotiating with another company. Problem is, I wasn't negotiating with another company. My lawyers were, without my consent.
Okay, calm down, Dominic. There was a problem with Range Tech.
I told you that I didn't want there to be any problems.
Well, if you'd bought them, their problems were going to become your problems. But just calm down and take a second because we brought you a solution.
Which is what?
Mike, don't call Dominic. Tanaka pulled out.
Pulled out of what? Doesn't matter. You're both fired.
It's one thing for you to have your feud with me, but you just cost your firm a huge piece of business.
Let me explain to you what I already told him. This isn't about business, it's about getting even.
This is a draft of a class action lawsuit headed Range Tech's way the second the EPA's report comes out. That's the same report that your friend kept buried.
And if you'd bought them, that suit would have been headed your way. So yes, we blew up the deal, but that man was never your friend.
You lied to me. And worse than that, you didn't respect me.
I am sorry. I shouldn't have antagonized you.
And I shouldn't have said that rushing through this deal without doing due diligence was feasible.
You see, the bottom line is that we were both right when we tried to do this deal with Tanaka.
And now that we got nothing to hide from you, there is nothing to stop us from finding you someone else.
So instead of standing here kissing my ass, why don't you get to work doing that?
We get fired by McKernan Motors and you didn't tell me and you didn't tell Harvey?
Wait, Jessica.
God damn it.
We didn't tell anyone because we were fired for less than a day, and then we fixed it.
Oh, you fixed it.
Yes, it was all a misunderstanding. Now Dominic's back on board.
I don't give a shit that Dominic is back on board, and neither does Fletcher Engines.
Fletcher Engines?
That's right. In the less than a day that you were fired by McKernan, Jack Soloff signed Fletcher as a client. And now I have to let McKernan go.
That son of a bitch.
Jessica, he set this whole thing up.
Oh, and I'm sure you did nothing to antagonize him.
I did do nothing. I swear. I wasn't petty. I trusted him. Then he used that trust to stab us in the back.
Jessica, you have no idea. Lewis has never been more right in his life.
You can't dump McKernan. It'll kill Harvey.
Well, we can't goddamn represent them now, and you know it.
We can if you tell Jackie he has to drop Fletcher.
Do you realize the position you're putting me in? Fletcher is worth 3 times what McKernan is.
I'm sorry you're in this position right now. But for once, I'm not the one who put you in it. Jack Soloff is.
Drop Fletcher Engines by morning. If you don't, I will.
By morning it is. And by afternoon, the entire firm's gonna know that you chose a mid-sized client over Fletcher because Harvey Specter has an attachment to them. And you have an attachment to him.
I admire people who challenge me, Jack. But there's a limit to that. And you are on the very edge. So let me be clear. This is your last chance to work with me. Take it, and you have a future. Don't, and you can go ask Daniel Hardman for a job. Because we both know that's how you got the idea for Fletcher Engines in the first place.